No one anticipated it would be so swift and decisive. Some high-ranking officials couldn't help but start thinking. If they had been the ones facing off against the Somali kingdom, could they paralyze the Somali kingdom within 2 hours and cause its entire front lines to collapse? The answer was no. Yes. No nation believed that under equal conditions could achieve what the Kingdom of Yemen has accomplished. This serves as a wake-up call to nations worldwide, making them realize the formidable strength of the Kingdom of Yemen today. Big Goose. After reviewing the battle via satellite imagery, the high-ranking officials fell into deep contemplation. Thankfully, the Kingdom of Yemen is our ally, otherwise, this would be quite a headache. Indeed, their development is terrifyingly rapid. How did they manage it? Their king is the key architect of this transformation, truly a remarkable figure. To achieve such profound change in a nation within mere months. Well, regardless, this is good news for us. The Lighthouse Kingdom's plan to use the Somali Kingdom to consolidate its power in East Continent is now completely off the table. They've lost the Somali Kingdom as their pawn. All that remains for the Lighthouse Nation in East Continent is now reduced to just one, Yisili. It's safe to say the Lighthouse Nation is now teetering on the edge of a cliff. Because they have only one remaining gamble, Yisili. Should they lose this gamble too, the Lighthouse Nation will utterly lose its hegemony in East Continent, completely losing the US dollar hegemony system that has maintained its global monopoly for decades or even centuries. Therefore, the one who should be anxious now. The Beacon Nation. The Big Goose and the Lighthouse Nation have never gotten along, harboring a mutual desire to destroy each other. Setting aside the rapid development of the Kingdom of Yemen, it may also pose a future threat to the Big Goose. The news of the Kingdom of Yemen's overwhelming victory in this war, showcasing its formidable strength, is a positive development. No need to guess, the Goose knows the Lighthouse Nation is absolutely freaking out right now. The former world superpower. The Lighthouse Nation, which prides itself on leading the world and standing at the forefront of global technology. They probably never imagined in their wildest dreams that such a day would come for them. The Dragon Nation. This battle sent shockwaves through the Dragon Nation as well. Unlike the Great Goose, the Dragon Nation had deeper ties and broader cooperation with the Yemen Kingdom. They understood the Yemen Kingdom's capabilities all too well. Surprise was surprise. But it certainly wasn't as unexpected as it was for the Big Goose. More than anything, it was a testament to how deeply Jiang Yi had concealed his capabilities. At the high-level meeting, Su Jinghua and Chen Yunian were both present. The Yemen Kingdom's fighter jets are truly too advanced. We must find a way to break through our current technological limitations and develop our own 6th-generation aircraft as soon as possible, Chen Yunian declared with powerful conviction. His voice was full of vigor, sounding nothing like someone in their 70s or 80s. This battle undoubtedly conveyed a concept to the world once again. In modern warfare, the paramount importance of air power. A formidable air force can even obliterate all of an enemy's critical facilities, destroy all critical enemy facilities, paralyzing the enemy's domestic infrastructure. For the enemy, surrender becomes the only path left. Therefore, the Dragon Nation understands. It must continue investing heavily in the Air Force Department, especially in fighter jet RD. Senior Chen, we've been secretly developing our own technology with promising progress. Moreover, through studying the Lighthouse Nation's F-35, we've identified numerous vulnerabilities we can exploit. I believe that if we face off against the Lighthouse Nation's Air Force next time, we have the confidence to crush them. An elder overseeing the Dragon Nation's RD department spoke up. Hearing this, Chen Yunian's face softened with satisfaction. The Dragon Nation had recently achieved significant breakthroughs in its Air Force Department. Ultimately, it was thanks to Jiang Yi, who had previously handed over a complete F-35 to them. This provided them with research opportunities, enabling them to crack many core technological secrets of the Lighthouse Nation. They also developed numerous countermeasures specifically targeting the F-35. Methods to counter the Lighthouse Nation's 5th-generation fighter jets. The Lighthouse Nation has no idea. If they found out about this, they'd be furious enough to faint. At this moment, a senior army official spoke with deep concern. The Kingdom of Yemen is developing too rapidly. While we are allies now, that may not hold true in the future. I fear trouble may arise. What are your thoughts? The moment these words were spoken, everyone exchanged glances. Indeed, this concern was shared by all, though none had voiced it. When it comes to national interests, self-interest takes precedence. Who could say whether the Kingdom of Yemen might one day become an enemy of the Dragon Nation? The conference hall erupted into chaos. Everyone voiced their own opinions, expressing their thoughts. Some believed that while cooperation with the Kingdom of Yemen was necessary, maintaining a certain distance was essential. Seek opportunities to covertly curb the development of the Yemen Kingdom. This idea gained the approval of most people. Chen Yunian suddenly raised his hand, cutting off the murmurs and signaling for silence. Everyone, trust the Yemen Kingdom. I don't believe Jiang Yi is that kind of person. He's different from the hegemonic tendencies of the Lighthouse Nation, and he himself has Dragon Nation blood. At the very least, I don't think he'll do anything to us. Alright, let's end this topic here. He didn't want to escalate the situation. Caution was warranted. But he felt the measures against the Kingdom of Yemen were excessive. It wouldn't come to that. Based on his prior understanding of Jiang Yi, he knew Jiang Yi wasn't like those people from the Lighthouse Nation, so there was no need to worry for now. Old Chen. Seeing that Chen Yunian had spoken, everyone dropped the subject. Chapter 224, The 3-Hour War Myth. Compared to the high-level officials of various nations, global netizens were arguably the second most invested in this affair. When it comes to gossip, they're the real experts. After the incident, the news of the Yemen kingdom's full-scale invasion of the Somali kingdom spread like wildfire online due to the immense uproar it caused. The Yemen kingdom delivered on its promise. Countless netizens cheered their bold move. They didn't disappoint. We definitely chose the right country to support. They don't mess around, just get things done. So cool. With Somali kingdom acting so recklessly, I wonder if they're panicking. Only the kingdom of Yemen would do this. If it were any other country, I bet they'd drag their feet for 10 days or half a month before even considering war. 10 days or a month? Think again. For matters of national importance like this, most countries need at least 3 months to prepare before taking real action, and it's usually 6 months or more before they actually move. So, who won in the end? Yeah, I'm really curious who won. Did the lighthouse nation intervene? They definitely did. This is about the lighthouse nation's reputation. If they lose Somali, how will they maintain their international prestige and influence? I reckon the Kingdom of Yemen won't find it easy to take Somalia. Just by refusing to engage in direct combat, Somalia has the Kingdom of Yemen completely stumped. Add to that the fact that Somalia has the lighthouse nation backing it. The Kingdom of Yemen wouldn't dare to act recklessly. Various theories abound. Opinions are all over the place. What sparks the most curiosity among netizens now is the final outcome. Most are unaware of real-time developments. Many suspect the Kingdom of Yemen is likely just staging a feint for show. A full-scale war is simply impossible. The Somali kingdom has endured for so many years. It controls such a vast territory for a reason. But regardless, even if the Kingdom of Yemen fails to conquer it, or if some other unexpected event occurs, it cannot diminish the Kingdom of Yemen standing in the hearts of the people. At the very least, it truly dares to fight. Unlike certain nations that spout the fiercest threats imaginable, only to chicken out the moment they're truly confronted. Whether the lighthouse nation will enter the fray is also a hot topic. On a certain platform, the platform admins, relishing the drama, even set up a poll. The results showed over 72% of respondents firmly believe the lighthouse nation will definitely intervene. Not only will they supply weapons to the Somali kingdom, but also directly deploying troops to strike the Yemen kingdom. Not long ago, the lighthouse nation stated about uniting the 32 nations of North Joy to launch military operations against the Kingdom of Yemen. Many still remember this. This presents a prime opportunity. If not now, then when? The official department of the lighthouse nation saw these comments. Many of them clearly leaned toward them, believing that they would never stand idly by. Yet deep down, just feels so unsettled? Probably because they've lost again. Obama hurriedly contacted major media outlets, hoping to sweep this under the rug. But he underestimated netizens' appetite for gossip. Can't delete it. Absolutely impossible to delete. With so many people paying attention, the ability to control public opinion seemed to be failing. Amidst the frenzy of external discussions, the ground forces of the Yemen kingdom officially landed on the shores of the Somali kingdom. First, assess the battlefield. Also, exercise caution. Do not rule out the possibility of a feigned surrender. Never let down your guard against the enemy. Zhang Yi cautioned the soldiers conducting the battlefield sweep. The soldiers grew cautious. Fortunately, no feigned surrender occurred. All soldiers surrendered peacefully and handed over their weapons. Zhang Yi ordered all weapons to be collected. Not only the machine guns used by the Somali soldiers, but also their large cache of BM-21 Grad multiple rocket launchers, armored vehicles, and more. The purpose of collecting them was certainly not for his own use. Zhang Yi had no interest in such junk. Rather, he reasoned that leaving weapons in their hands would only invite future trouble and complicate control. It didn't take long. Zhang Yi had a clear grasp of the current situation in the Somali kingdom. All soldiers, except those who surrendered, either chose to flee, escaping across the border to Kenya and other countries. Some had been killed in battle. Others hid in underground tunnels. Upon discovery, these individuals also decisively chose to surrender. As for the high-ranking officials of the Somali kingdom, including Mahmoud, there's no need to elaborate. They are currently being escorted by Andre and will be transported to the port of Hodeidah shortly. Have you made contact with Al-Shabaab? Zhang Yi called Charles. Charles set aside his documents and replied, "They've been notified, Your Majesty. They'll contact you shortly." Zhang Yi nodded with satisfaction. He hadn't actually instructed Charles to contact the youth party beforehand. But upon observing the shifting situation, Charles recognized the timing was right and proactively reached out to the youth party. This brings us to the point. Charles's meticulous control over the details of the entire affair and his precise foresight into the next steps. Such capability is not something everyone possesses. Inside the command center, Zhang Yi stretched lazily, rose from the sofa, and walked out onto the beach to catch the sea breeze for a moment. After instructing his men to announce the outcome of the battle, Zhang Yi deactivated the descent function. Everything flickered before his eyes. Zhang Yi, in his studio apartment, glanced at the time. It was 2 in the afternoon. Due to the time difference with Dongzhou, the alignment between game time and real-world time depended on various complex factors. So Zhang Yi wasn't entirely sure if events in reality were synchronized. But it didn't matter. Based on past experience, the time difference shouldn't be too significant. He remembered he had a class that afternoon. Zhang Yi ate a light meal and headed to class with his things. 11:30 p.m. After wrapping up the day, Jiang Yi, who'd just returned from karaoke with his former roommates, unlocked his phone. He saw a news tweet. International Evening News, breaking news. The war between the Kingdom of Yemen and the Kingdom of Somali has concluded. Conquered in under 3 hours, a historic miracle in the annals of warfare. Click homepage for more details. Jiang Yi frowned. At that moment, Wang Hai, who had had a few drinks and was feeling a bit tipsy, happened to glance at Jiang Yi's phone screen. He perked up instantly. Holy crap? 3 hours? Let me see what happened. Wang Hai snatched Jiang Yi's phone and tapped open the tweet to examine it closely. After reading the entire thread, Wang Hai was stunned. Damn! He slapped the arm of the guy standing beside him in astonishment. Look, guys. The Yemen Kingdom crushed Somali in just 3 hours. They've surrendered completely now. All their high-ranking officials, including the president, have been captured. Holy, I'm not really drunk, am I? Everyone watched Wang Hai's reaction. They were amused. Just moments ago, Wang Hai had been stumbling around, supported by others. When people said he was drunk, he insisted he was fine. Now he was claiming he was drunk? Chapter 225, Global Headlines, Reduced to Ridicule. Returning the phone to Jiang Yi, Wang Hai pulled out his own device and searched online. Major media outlets had already blown this story wide open. So just typing in any keyword brought up a flood of trending topics. The other roommates crowded around. National affairs. Guys tend to pay more attention to this kind of news anyway. After all, what man doesn't harbor a dream of conquering the world? Thus, after lights out, national affairs and global politics have always been the hot topics in the dorm after lights out. After scrolling through all the trending topics, Wang Hai and the entire group wore expressions of utter shock. Global Times. According to the latest reports, the war between the Kingdom of Yemen and the Kingdom of Somalia erupted in full force 4 to 5 hours ago. This highly anticipated conflict has captured the attention of countless people worldwide. However, events unfolded unexpectedly. Reports indicate that hours before hostilities commenced, the Kingdom of Yemen deployed multiple hypersonic missiles at its largest port, Hodeida. The Yemen Kingdom then launched an intense aerial assault on the Somali Kingdom. The Somali forces were utterly powerless to resist. Within just 20 minutes of the battle commencing, the Somali Kingdom's frontline troops were nearly annihilated. Throughout the entire engagement, the Somali Kingdom failed to mount a single meaningful counterattack. Experts speculate that the Yemen Kingdom likely employed some form of radar jamming technology, instantly crippling all Somali radar systems. Global military network, beyond expectations. The Kingdom of Yemen demonstrated astonishing strength, securing a crushing victory with overwhelming superiority. Throughout the entire process, the Kingdom of Somali suffered a complete and utter defeat. Internal sources reveal that during this conflict, the Kingdom of Yemen once again deployed its mysterious fighter jets. Following a series of bombing raids, the Somali Kingdom's defenses completely collapsed. Subsequent bombing raids targeted multiple locations across Somali territory, including the presidential palace. Current reports indicate over hundreds of presidential guards and more than 20 high-ranking Somali government officials have been killed. The whereabouts of the Somali Kingdom's president remain unknown. He may have been killed or captured by the Yemen Kingdom. Stay tuned to our station as we remain committed to delivering frontline reports to the global audience. Global Times, breaking. Yemen Kingdom creates war legend, maintains undefeated record as Eastern continent completely shattered. How will the Lighthouse Nation break the deadlock next? With the Somali Kingdom's defeat, the Lighthouse Nation now faces only one remaining option against the Yemen Kingdom, Italy. Control of the Aden Gulf will also fall entirely to the Yemen Kingdom, posing a major challenge for the Lighthouse Nation. Should the Yemen Kingdom blockade these waters, preventing Lighthouse Nation vessels from navigating normally, it would deal a severe blow to the Lighthouse Nation's economy. Some experts believe the conflict between the Kingdom of Yemen and the Kingdom of Somalia is merely a trigger. As the real war lies ahead, the Lighthouse Nation may soon enter the fray itself. Holy crap! Is this really the Kingdom of Yemen? This intense? Wang Hai and the others' expressions were one more vivid than the next, each more stunned than the last. Last night in the dorm, they were still debating how likely it was that the Kingdom of Yemen would win if it came to blows. Would the Lighthouse Nation intervene? As a die-hard fan of the Yemen Kingdom, Wang Hai had only thought at the time that the Yemen Kingdom would win. But the fighting would last at least 10 days to half a month, maybe even months. Because this wasn't a small-scale conflict. It was a full-scale war between nations conceptually different from anything else. Secondly, if the Lighthouse Nation intervened, the conflict would only drag on indefinitely, potentially evolving into a protracted war. Yet the facts have proven. Even when we imagined the worst-case scenario, reality proved even more outrageous. Capturing the Somali Kingdom in a matter of hours, would you believe it if you heard it? That was a country with its own active military and all kinds of modern weaponry. How about that? Wang Hai beamed with pride. What did I say last night? I told you the Yemen Kingdom would win, right? And you all argued that the Somali Kingdom had the United States backing it, that it wasn't that simple. Ha! Seeing Wang Hai's triumphant expression, his roommates were speechless, but they couldn't argue. Who could blame them? The Kingdom of Yemen had actually delivered in such an impressive, even outrageous way. The only one remaining calm in the room was Jiang Yi. Of course. To play along with Wang Hai and the others, Jiang Yi feigned a slight look of surprise. Jiang Yi, you weren't in the dorm last night. I was the only one who thought the Yemen Kingdom could win. None of them believed me, ha! Wang Hai practically had smug written all over his face. Jiang Yi patted his shoulder. Alright, not our problem. I'm heading back to rest. Don't rush off. Why not hang out in the dorm tonight? Ever since Jiang Yi moved into his single apartment, the group had spent much less time hanging out together. Jiang Yi thought for a moment. Sure. Let's catch up. After all, the Somali kingdom had already been secured. The remaining matters would be handled by Andre on the front lines. Charles was holding down the fort at the rear. Jiang Yi needn't fret so much. That's the advantage of having capable subordinates. On the way back to the dormitory, Wang Hai and the others still hadn't recovered from the shock of the battle. Even back in the dorms, the commotion didn't subside. As the truth gradually surfaced, the details of the battle became increasingly clear to the public. Netizens were astonished. The overwhelming dominance of the Yeoman kingdom in various reports, marveling at its might. At the same time, they gradually came to realize a fact. That's the beacon nation everyone pinned their hopes on, and it didn't lift a finger. This is hilarious. Weren't they supposed to take military action? Why the sudden silence? The beacon nation has truly demonstrated what it means to be a nation of fun, huh? Is that all the beacon nation has? What a joke. So pathetic. Did they get scared by the kingdom of Yemen's hypersonic missiles? But you're about to form a coalition of 32 nations. What's there to fear from hypersonic missiles? That's the lighthouse nation for you, nothing but barking dogs. Who knows how many of the lighthouse nation's lapdogs are crying now, huh? The lighthouse nation you pinned your hopes on didn't just stand by, it didn't even issue an international statement. In an instant, global netizens erupted in mockery. Now they know what it means to make a lot of noise but deliver little. This infuriated the lighthouse nation's leadership, exactly the scenario they dreaded most. Not only did they lose the kingdom of Somalia, but they'd become the laughingstock of the world. Where will they put their faces now? Pathetic. Utterly pathetic. In the end, every high-ranking official in the lighthouse nation collectively chose to play dead. They planned to wait for the incident to blow over, then hype up some other news, and hope netizens would just forget about it. The impact of this war between the Kingdom of Yemen and the Kingdom of Somali far exceeded everyone's expectations. Chapter 226, Supporting Somali. The nations of East Continent. Major powers like Aliankia, Shashi, Qatari, and Dubai were far from pleased. Instead, their hearts hung in suspense. The Kingdom of Yemen's performance. Too dazzling. If the kingdom under attack had been one of them instead of Somali, they were stronger than the Somali kingdom. But how much stronger could they be? It's like this. You have a fortune in gold and silver at home, while your neighbor is a ruthless bandit wielding a machete. You'd be terrified all the time. Consequently, these wealthy nations have sent weapons purchase requests to countries like the Dragon Nation and the Beacon Nation. They hope to acquire a batch of weapons to bolster their national defense capabilities. Other nations beyond the eastern continent also recognize the importance of military strength. They decided to increase defense spending starting in the second half of the year. To increase defense spending, following extensive coverage across online and various media platforms, many nations that had not yet established diplomatic relations with the Kingdom of Yemen submitted applications for diplomatic relations. This truly highlights the advantages of formidable strength when you demonstrate sufficient power. The entire world revolves around you. But their sycophantic faces only disgusted Jiang Yi. Not every nation would receive Jiang Yi's approval for so-called diplomatic recognition. Take those fence-sitters, for instance. Jiang Yi naturally refused. The next day, after breakfast, he opened the game as usual. Returning to his studio apartment, he handled the day's state affairs. He ordered Andre to bring Mahmoud before him. Kneel. Andre kicked Mahmoud hard, forcing his knees to buckle as he fell to his knees before Jiang Yi. Don't kill me. I'll agree to anything you demand, just don't kill me. Mahmoud stared at Jiang Yi. Terror drove him to repeatedly kowtow in supplication, tears and snot streaming down his face, looking utterly pathetic. Who would have thought this man, just yesterday, had been the king of a nation, commanding the entire Somali kingdom? Mahmoud had not slept a wink all night. He pondered long and hard. He concluded that the Yemen kingdom hadn't killed him outright. Meant he still had some use to them. If he behaved well, he might just have a chance to survive. Who said they were going to kill you? Seeing the other's comical expression, Jiang Yi flashed a kind smile. Yet that very smile, in Mahmoud's eyes, it looked more terrifying than the devil himself. Jiang Yi was the kind of madman who would declare war on a whim, not even sparing the lighthouse nation. He believed there was nothing Jiang Yi wouldn't dare to do. Rest assured, I won't kill you. But I need your cooperation. There's something I need your help with. What is it? Mahmoud frowned, puzzled. Simple. First, let me introduce someone to you, Jiang Yi said, clapping his hands. From the cubicle behind him, a middle-aged man emerged. Upon seeing the man's face, Mahmoud froze. You? He stared in astonishment at the man who had suddenly appeared. President Mahmoud, it's a pleasure to see you here. What brings you here? That's none of your concern. Durai turned and bowed to Jiang Yi, speaking with reverence. Your Majesty, thank you for your trust. After inheriting the Somali kingdom, I will never disappoint your expectations. Yes. The man standing before Mahmoud was none other than Durai, the current leader of the youth party. His presence here was also arranged by Jiang Yi last night. Jiang Yi had a plan. That plan was to seize control of the Somali kingdom. But he couldn't possibly manage both the Yemen kingdom and the Somali kingdom simultaneously. First, he didn't have a thorough understanding of the Somali kingdom's situation. Second, it would be too exhausting. After discussing it with Charles, Jiang Yi decided to install a puppet government. The Al-Shabaab group, which he had been in contact with long ago, became the obvious choice. They possessed sufficient knowledge of the Somali kingdom. They understood the nation's circumstances. They would be able to take over management much more quickly. Moreover, since Ali himself was a native of the Somali kingdom, upon his appointment, he will not provoke discontent among Somali nationals, thereby avoiding internal conflicts. Otherwise, we can't just slaughter the entire Somali populace. Jiang Yi dared to fight. But he wasn't psychologically twisted, and certainly not some kind of psychopathic killer. This whole approach is hardly novel. Many powerful nations play this game. When things are calm, you handle things yourself. When the time comes, you take control. Mahmud exploded upon hearing Daly's words. What did you say? He pointed at Delay, his face twisted with rage. You? What do you mean, you? Delay turned his head, his face dripping with scorn. This is His Majesty the King's command. Of course, you may choose to reject this proposal. There are others. Mahmud trembled with rage. But reason ultimately prevailed. He knew Jiang Yi had brought along other high-ranking officials from the Somali kingdom. If he refused to cooperate, Jiang Yi would kill him, then announce his accidental death. The other Somali kingdom officials would then step in to announce his resignation. It would be the same. Any objections? Jiang Yi stared at Mahmud. A chill ran through Mahmud's heart. He hurriedly replied, no problem. I'll do as you say. Good. Prepare yourself. The press conference will begin this afternoon. No way, Jiang Yi said. I'll have someone give you a script. Memorize it and read from it when the time comes. Jiang Yi said. He then had Mahmud escorted away to rest and recover. After a night of anxiety and fear, pale and drained of color. Sending him abroad looking like this would make people think Jiang Yi had mistreated him. Jiang Yi certainly didn't want to earn himself a reputation as a tyrant. Delay. Jiang Yi spoke. Your Majesty. Delay flashed a fawning smile. To him, Jiang Yi felt closer than his own father. After all, this man had handed an entire kingdom directly to him. Recalling how the youth party had been crushed by the Somali government forces back then, it filled him with resentment. Now, not only had he overthrown the Somali kingdom government, but he had ascended the throne himself. Just one day ago, he wouldn't have dared dream of such a thing. Yet with the involvement of the Yaman kingdom, it had actually come to pass. It felt like a dream. After taking control of the Somali kingdom, follow my instructions and focus on developing the domestic economy. I will send people to guide you. Delay understood Jiang Yi's meaning. He was given the Somali kingdom, but he must deliver corresponding returns. Develop the Somali kingdom well. Otherwise, Jiang Yi could elevate him to the throne, but he could also turn him into a prisoner overnight. Understood, Your Majesty. Delay saluted. Rest assured, sir. Strengthening the Somali kingdom is also our heartfelt wish. I will cooperate wholeheartedly. Chapter 227, the President resigns such an obscure language. Time. 4:30 p.m. Mahmud, still asleep, was roused and led away from the lounge. Shortly after, he was led into a dressing room. The makeup artist began applying his makeup. Mahmud watched as the weariness on his face was gradually concealed. Gradually, he began to look radiant. All right, let's go. Behave yourself. The guard escorting Mahmud warned him. This was his only chance. If he didn't behave, he wouldn't live to see tomorrow's sun. Mahmud himself knew this well, feeling exceptionally tense as he tried to convince himself he must perform flawlessly to make a good impression on Jiang Yi. Press conference venue. Your Majesty, you mentioned an important announcement today. Is that true? Can you give us a preview? What aspect might this concern? Is it related to the war between the Kingdom of Yaman and the Kingdom of Somali? What are your thoughts on this conflict? Rumors are circulating that all the hypersonic weapons at Hodeida port were prepared specifically to counter the lighthouse nation. Is this information accurate? Reporters, aware of the upcoming press conference. A large crowd of reporters had gathered early. The moment Jiang Yi appeared, a barrage of questions came at him. Jiang Yi didn't know which one to answer first. Everyone, please quiet down. Alpha stood nearby, gesturing for the reporters to calm down. Meanwhile, taking advantage of this moment, many reporters at the scene began live streaming. Jiang Yi picked up the microphone. Today's press conference is primarily to announce several matters. Please bear with us for a moment, we'll soon introduce you to an old acquaintance. This statement instantly piqued the curiosity of countless people. An old acquaintance? Who could it be? Could it be some mysterious big shot? The king sure knows how to build suspense. A sudden press conference must mean big news is coming, hope it doesn't disappoint. Bring on the explosive revelations, will you? Within moments, thousands flooded into major live stream rooms. All drawn in by Jiang Yi's single remark. The reporters were equally intrigued. Reporters were equally curious. But since Jiang Yi wasn't revealing anything, they had no choice but to wait patiently. During this time, the live stream's popularity surged relentlessly. Viewers climbed from hundreds of thousands to millions, then tens of millions. In a matter of minutes. This clearly demonstrated just how explosive any topic related to the Yao Kingdom had become. A few minutes later, Mahmud was escorted to the backstage area and then emerged from backstage under staff instructions. Him? The on-site reporters and live-stream viewers were all stunned when they saw who it was. Mahmud, the president of the Somali Republic. How could he be here? Wasn't he rumored to have perished in the war against the Yaman kingdom? Mahmud walked nervously toward the stage. As he passed Zhang Yi, his heart skipped a beat. His mind kept replaying the lines Zhang Yi had made him memorize. The two countries had just emerged from war. So Zhang Yi and Mahmud appeared on the same screen at the same time. The scene felt utterly jarring no matter how you looked at it. It made the whole atmosphere feel strange. He's not dead? Obama, who had just returned to the White House, was also watching the press conference. He was curious to see what kind of shenanigans the Kingdom of Yemen was up to this time. But the sudden appearance of Mahmud threw him off completely. An Air Force commander frowned. What are they trying to do? He didn't know. Obama shook his head, unsure why. A sense of foreboding welled up inside him, as if something terrible was about to happen. Mahmud quickly regained his composure. With lives at stake, he dared not let his guard down. Everyone, Mahmud declared with forceful conviction, we deeply regret the war with the esteemed Kingdom of Yemen. Our mistakes led to this tragedy. Here, I offer the Kingdom of Yemen my profound apologies. To atone for this wrongdoing, I, President Somali, hereby resign in disgrace from my position as president. My successor as president of the Somali Kingdom shall be Durai, former leader of the Somali Youth Party. I earnestly seek your understanding for disrupting global harmony and causing immeasurable losses. To all affected parties, I offer my deepest apologies. Wait, what? Resignation? The president is resigning. What a niche language. Resigning is one thing, but appointing the former leader of the Somali Youth Party, Durai, as successor? What kind of game is this? Aren't they sworn enemies? The script feels off. No need to guess they must have been threatened. But this is a good thing. The Kingdom of Yemen wants to bolster its own influence in Somaliland. From now on, the Kingdom of Somaliland will be completely free from the control of the Lighthouse Nation. Yeah, the Lighthouse Nation must be furious. Now the Kingdom of Yemen has complete control over the entrance to the Suez Canal. That's essentially indirect control over the world's economic lifeline. Wow, now every country will have to dance to Yemen's tune, huh? Need I say more? If you ever cross the Kingdom of Yemen, they'll block your imports and exports in a heartbeat, cutting off your maritime trade routes through those waters. Where do you think you'll go then? The entire world erupted in outrage. This is explosive. Any clear-eyed observer could see that Mahmud had been forced out. But it doesn't matter. Because Zhang Yi's supporters, the supporters of the Kingdom of Yemen, outnumber them. This is actually good news. It signifies that the upheaval in Dongzhou has truly begun. The future of Dongzhou will inevitably be a region dominated by the Kingdom of Yemen. The era of Lighthouse Nations rule. The era when Yisili could run rampant. That era is likely coming to an end. In short, Mahmud's departure and his subsequent rise to power with the support of the Kingdom of Yemen. This signifies that the world is about to undergo a seismic shift. Damn it! Only then did Obama and that commander grasp what the Kingdom of Yemen was really up to. Their faces twisted with fury. How could this useless fool let himself be captured by the Kingdom of Yemen? Doesn't he know how to be more cunning? Obama raged. No. They absolutely couldn't let the Somali Kingdom fall into the hands of the Yemen Kingdom like this. They must do something. Meanwhile, after Mahmud finished speaking, Zhang Yi signaled to Dalai with his eyes, indicating he should go mingle and make himself known. Dalai understood. He stepped onto the stage and greeted the crowd. Seeing this, Mahmud knew his task was complete. He then discreetly stepped aside. Dalai flashed his usual smile. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to meet you all here. I am Dalai, who will soon assume the presidency of the Somali Kingdom. I pledge to lead our nation toward prosperity and guide its people toward strength and prosperity. I earnestly request your continued support. Thank you very much. Chapter 228, Installing a Puppet, True Power. Most people knew little about Dalai. Even the most well-traveled journalists possessed only limited knowledge of him. This is because the former Somali Youth Party had long been at odds with government forces and were an unwelcome presence. Thus, little was known about their internal affairs. Before Dalai declared his identity, many people didn't even know what Al-Shabaab was. After Dalai finished introducing himself, a journalist from the Lighthouse Nation hurriedly handed him a microphone. Mr. Dalai, how are you selected as the next president of the Somali Kingdom? As far as I understand, the Somali Youth Party has never been recognized by any sector, including the Somali government forces. Dalai smiled faintly and responded to the reporter with a smile. It's quite simple. While we appear to be at odds with the Somali government forces, we have actually reached a reconciliation behind the scenes. Mr. Mahmud and I share a common goal, to promote the prosperity of the Somali Kingdom. A thoroughly official response. Next, a journalist from the Sun Never Sets Empire stepped forward and asked, Mr. Durai, could you share your thoughts on becoming the next president of the Somali Kingdom? And what are your plans moving forward? Durai cleared his throat. Regarding my thoughts, I would like to express my special gratitude to His Majesty the King of the Yemen Kingdom. I thank him for his magnanimity in overlooking the inadvertent mistakes made by the Somali Kingdom. I will not dwell on past grievances. Upon taking office, I will strengthen unity and cooperation with the Yemen Kingdom to jointly promote development between our two nations. As two major coastal states, we will also properly manage vessel traffic in the Gulf of Aden, ensuring the smooth operation of international trade. Mr. Delay, could you elaborate on the process of reconciliation? Mr.